Just speaking on the wage. So I was watching this interview earlier today, and I actually seen a couple of women admit that there was no such thing as a wage gap between men and women. Now, like I was saying a few minutes ago, I don't know 100% for a fact. I haven't looked into all the details into it, but I did look up some. And from what I know, for the most part, it's a couple of factors to put into if there is any wage gap between men and women. And for one, what kind of jobs are we talking about? As far as like how hard are the jobs? How many hours of labor? Um, what are they doing? Because where we come from, everybody pretty much like my Walmart job. I didn't get paid no more than no woman that worked there with me. Like literally not a cent more, and definitely not because I was a man. If anything, we got played out of a lot of advances or anything extra that was supposed to be on the check based on all Walmarts in this region. Like if a Walmart in Schererville gets an accident, a Walmart in Maryville don't get our bonus. We don't get a bonus if somebody has an accident and they got to pay out some fees for that store. All Walmarts around here don't get paid nothing extra. So we actually all get played on the money part anyway. But like I said, going back to what I said with this wage gap thing between men and women, like I said, my take on it is look at some of the jobs that some of the men have. That some of the women not willing to work. You know, a lot of women complain about having to do overtime and don't want to do that extra. It's times that we'll make those sacrifices and we not gonna go to our kids' soccer game or whatever program they in. We might not make it because we got to do those extra hours. So it's a lot of things to take into consideration. We talking corporate jobs. How many average men do you know work in corporate?
Myself, I have a few associates that do have corporate level jobs, but there's not a wage gap because of sex. Now there is due to job title, rank,
Right.
years of
Experience,
service,
yeah.
work experience, and also I know of how there are men who work in science and technology versus women working in the areas of humanity, which
Communications.
yeah,
And it's not saying nothing wrong with
no,
that. It's just when you just compare the jobs, it's like
yeah, it's okay on that. It is a difference, and again, I know more female nurses versus male nurses,
right.
but if nothing else, I know there's no man that's a nurse that's getting paid any less.
I'll use this as an example. I'll use this as a perfect example. Like so, I'm barber. There's a lot of female barbers coming up nowadays. Still not as many as men, but there's more coming into the game. Is there a wage gap there? Yes. But it's a reason behind that. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier with our positions. What are we willing to do? Well, most black male barbers do tend to do more than the female barbers. We do more in our services. Now, this is not including hairstylists. Y'all work hard. I'm not taking nothing away from y'all. We just strictly talking about barbering. And when people come into barbering, there's a lot of people that don't do certain things that we do. With certain services that I provide that I know female barbers don't provide. As far as doing black and doing sometimes even as far as a razor shave. And there's other barbers. It's like not even just women. There's male barbers that cut hair and don't provide a razor shave. So just different stuff like that to change your pay. Also, when we talk about going back to what I said about like working certain hours, certain sacrifices. This is no shame to women at all. But more women are they want to be at home. They want to be with the kids. They ain't trying to be at the job all day. Sometimes daddy might have to be there doing 16s. And I'm not saying women don't do 16s. We just saying on average, you'll see that more men will do that because it's expected of us. It's not really so much expected of y'all to do that. And then y'all are in positions where y'all can collect outside incomes. You know, you can do, you can collect child support, you can collect some welfare, you can collect a few things on top of your job, so you can work your regular 8 hours a day. You don't necessarily need to do a double. Sometimes for us men, it's so much coming out of child support, you have to do that double to still be able to take care of yourself as a normal human being, let alone you still want to live a life and have a girlfriend and do all that. So yeah, like I said, just that alone, it's just women just not really willing to put in that type of effort all the time. And like I said, it goes back to barbering. I had a debate with a female barber that works with me about what I charge, and I said sometimes if I get a walk in and I know I got a busy day, and you coming in out of the blue and you like, yeah, I need my haircut. Can one of y'all get me? And I'm like, well, today I don't have no room, but if you insist on me being the one to cut your hair, it's gonna be $75 for you sitting in this chair. And I've even had, I'm talking about multiple women, even the girl who lived with me and was benefiting off of me. You know, as far as taking her out to eat, helping her pay her phone bill, getting stuff done. Even she still thought that I was being unreasonable to want to charge somebody extra, but she don't feel like it's unreasonable for me to have to pay that phone bill for. So just that's what we talking about. It's like you will expect more from a man. Therefore, we're gonna have to charge more. So when it comes to certain types of positions and certain jobs, women are more softer in certain positions. You know, as far as that, like I said, with barbering, they like, oh no, that's not God. You know, God thinks that's ugly. You don't want to do that. You don't want to rip nobody pockets. And it's like men don't have time to think about that because we got to take care of our families. We got kids. We just don't have time to be soft on somebody. I could care less about what he got to do and how many kids he got because I got the same issues as him. So if you gonna sit in this chair, it's gonna be 75, bro. Because you trying to get a haircut so you can go look good to impress your lady. Well, I need you to pay me enough so I can go impress mine.
Well, I totally get that, and I okay, and you okay, you know, and I know the proprietor of the area you work. This okay, that man he charged, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
He charged, and I constantly say I know that that man had went ahead and laid the groundwork of what is possible for a man that is determined and that will work on his craft.
And that's basically my main point. We will, and I'm trying not to sound like a biggie because it's not to say that women don't work hard. It's just men have a different level of understanding that. Also, with me telling this guy that I'm gonna charge this extra, I'm going to have to put in extra work to get it. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to make that haircut look like something he ain't never seen before. I can't just come to him, and that goes back to what I said. We can look at any other careers the same way. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to do 80 hours in a week to make that same wage as that man? Are you willing to pick up that heavy, low work? You know, I worked at Walmart, like I said. Wasn't nobody getting paid no more or less, but I definitely know I did more muscle work than the women around there. I was the one pulling all them pallets around there and grabbing people stuff with my hands. I wasn't no women in there doing that. But we all was getting paid the same. And I couldn't complain about it because the job told us before we filled out that application, this is what y'all was getting paid. Y'all get $1 more than day shift because you work overnights. And that was it. No overtime, absolutely. None. If you even got overtime, you had to stay off the clock to cut it. So we wasn't even allowed to get paid extra. But they still wanted that work done, still wanted to ask for more. And
Well,
that was male or female.
well, I definitely worked in a warehouse environment myself, so I understand where a person would be over overworked, underappreciated, and I just say I know that you're glad that that you're under a different mind frame, a different career, a lifestyle change. I think it's safe to say that it's a lifestyle change that you're under now and everything. So I guess for my last question, okay, so in your experience with the wage gaps or just even the career choices of some men versus some women and everything. Okay, so what would you say if a person got a comment about the wage gap is unfair for women versus men?
I would say my advice to women would be, here's the thing. Let's break it down like this. I told my girl this the other day, and it was something. Please watch Dave Chappelle Let It Stand Up. I can't remember what the joke was, but he told a joke that kind of was in reference to this, what I'm about to say next, and that is my advice would be more so. Think about it like this: if you my homeboy, Brian, and we go way, me and you went way back, and I start a business, I figure out the program. The thing is, men don't necessarily teach other men how to gain anything. So 9 times out of 10, when you see a man of high value, he got there through his resources of his father and his friends' fathers and whoever his people is. And when they get in those levels and positions, 9 times out of 10, if you go way back with me and I need some help, who do you think I'm gonna call? I'm gonna call on you. So what I tell women is, why don't y'all start putting yourselves, like I said, I hate to sound like this is not, again, in no way, shape, or form to say that no woman works as hard as a man. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am simply saying is if y'all started to imitate what the men did and started creating your own resources and empires, you probably would see better results. That would be my advice. Start to build companies where you can hire your female friends or who you feel you more comfortable with or who you validate more worthy of that position or that job. When you rely on certain people, I don't think y'all understand this is not necessarily a man versus a woman thing. This is the rich versus the poor versus the my friends versus the who the hell are you. So when we talking about that, 9 times out of 10, I'll give you a perfect example. I get into the barbershop, me, and my father works there and is a very good barber. And the guy who owns it, they very close. So naturally, me coming in, I got showed the ropes a lot different than what probably a lot of other barbers who come in. And I can't lie about that. I can't say I didn't have a little bit of an advantage. And I think we all do, depending on who we surround ourselves with. And if we start focusing on who we have around us, I think we can grow more. If we start, instead of us looking outward to the public and saying, well, you owe me this, I think you should give me this. You just got to learn how to build your own resources.
Okay, I like that, and this will be the conclusion of this segment, and I'd like to thank you and like, share, subscribe, and you can also look at other archive episodes on both pages. So see y'all in the future.